So are you interested in gold prospecting, but you don't want to buy any expensive equipment, but you have a 3D printer? If that describes you, or you just like watching somebody with pay dirt, stick around. That's supposed to be a gold scoop. Guess I need to level my bed. Hey, how's it going? So I got another bag of pay dirt here, and this is Kenai Gold LLC pay dirt. I got this off of Amazon. What I didn't get off of Amazon, surprise, surprise, is a bunch of 3D printed gold panning prospecting accessories. Now, you may have seen it in a previous video. I got a lot of comments on these 3D printed gold pans. I use these for concentrates. And one thing about FDM, or filament deposition printers, they leave a pretty rough surface. Lots of ridges in there as the filament gets deposited. And that holds on to gold really well. So these are mini ones that I've made. And you can see whatever filament I had on hand. I made some red ones as well. Heck, I even tried printing this one out of clear PETG. I do usually print these out of PETG just because they have a little bit more UV resistance and durability to heat. If you leave a PLA print out in your car on a warm day, you're going to come back to mush. And I printed this one as well, full-size pan. I actually printed this at 60%, so it could be a little bit bigger. But this wasn't quite as big as I could print on my Ender 3 Pro, but worked out pretty well. It has a couple different size riffles. It has small riffles right there, a little bit larger riffles. And I like this pan design because it's really deep. It's got a real deep depression there for hold on to gold. So yeah, I look forward to using this one. But yeah, you don't just need to print miniature stuff. Speaking of miniature stuff, I printed this. This is also PETG, just a little sluice box. There were some riffles. My printer, I had a bad printer day, but I just put a little bead of silicone caulk right there just to act as riffles. And I tried this thing out, and it actually works. It does catch gold from some of the other pay dirt. And if you don't have a FDM printer and you have a resin printer, hey, you can also, this is only about 30% of the size. Kind of cute. But it's little riffles you can pull out. But this is with a resin printer. And I could print a lot bigger than this, but I just wanted to print this out for fun. And something that I thought was really clever is these little nesting classifiers, just like you get, just like you see the big boys using. Only these are 1mm, 2mm, and 3mm classifiers. You know what? We're going to use that. We got this little piece of gold, or we got this little bag of pay dirt here. So we're going to go ahead and use this stuff and see if we can get the gold out. Alright, so just to show you don't need any fancy equipment, I just pull out one of my used bowls here. And you can tell it's kind of my favorite one so far, and I don't know why. But let's go ahead and open up this Kenai Gold pay dirt here. Let's see what we got. So if you look down in there, it feels pretty dry. Let's go ahead and test out these classifiers, and let's see what we got here. Alright, so we have all our material classified. We have anything bigger than 3mm right here. We have anything between 3 and 2mm right here. Between 2 and 1mm right here. And then this is all the stuff that's -1. And I imagine this is where most of the gold's going to be. And sure, it took a little bit longer than normal, but if you have a smaller bag of pay dirt like this, or you just want to get started with the Klesch crumbs, I can't recommend that pay dirt bag enough. Yeah, we can just kind of look through here. See what we have. See if we have any nuggets in there. I don't see any, do you? And see if we have any big nuggets. And we do not. That just leaves us with these two. And normally we'd pan these out, but I'm going to try something a little different. Alright, so what I have here for you is a 3D printed sluice box. And it has 3D printed riffles in here. Again, this isn't my design. I'll download the link to the files on Thingiverse down below. But I just kind of have it set up on just a piece of wood. I have a little cardboard shim over here. And I have this little 5-volt cheap aquarium pump I got off of Amazon for a couple bucks. But I have that running with a tube up to a milk jug that I cut a slot in, and then I have some miner's moss, or that's just an abrasive pad I have in there. And then I have these, I have a little takeout container down there, and I just have the sluice box propped up. So let's plug it in and see how she runs. So the purpose of the miner's moss, or the abrasive pad, is just to help the water come out a little even. It's not a lot of flow, but yeah, it should be enough for running some of this stuff through. So we do want to add jet dry to the water, so you can steal some from your kitchen. Just add a little bit there. And that just acts as a surfactant. And we've noticed that gold can float. If you've seen some of my previous videos, especially the real flaky stuff. So what that does is it breaks up the surface tension and doesn't allow the gold to sit up on the surface. So we got some pretty good flow. And again, this is just proof of concept. So we'll spoon in some of our material. I know some of you are thinking, oh, you're losing some gold. Well, the reason for the takeout container so that everything just flows right into there, and that way I don't lose anything. I can run this again and again. I probably do need to run a little bit steeper angle because this aluminum pump does have a flow controller, but it's not good. It either has slow or really slow. Let's take a look at the sluice and see what it's doing. All right, so doing a clean out on this, I still have, there's just a few scoops of material. I don't think we're halfway done, but this is a really small sluice box. Again, you can print larger on an Ender 3 printer. I just printed a small one. I didn't want to waste a lot of filament. But clean out's pretty easy. We'll just hold our pan down, give it a bunch of shakes, and that gold's not going anywhere. And we'll set it back up here. And we'll pan this out and see what we got. Not bad. A little bit bigger than flour gold that we find here in Minnesota, but I'll go ahead and run through the rest of this material and we'll take a look at what we got. Alright, so how do we do? Well, first of all, I think these classifiers are great. I think if you were to scale them up a little bit, it was just kind of fun. Did them on the resin printer, and for a small bag like this or the Klesh crumbs, it was fun. But they do what they're supposed to do. They classify. The sluice box, the one we used, it did better than I expected. It missed a lot of gold. I'll show you the results here in just a second. But I think I was feeding it too fast. So I think if I would have slowed down my feed rate, I think if I would have cleaned it out a little bit more often, because it is a mini sluice box. And even with, after the 4th tablespoon of pay dirt, it was getting clogged up and getting full. So let's see what we got. So here's all the gold that we've got in our sluice. A few larger pieces there. And here's all the stuff that went into our takeout container that we missed. I need to get a better camera, don't I? Side by side, I think we got about 2/3 with our 3D printed sluice box. All in all, though, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed printing these things. I'll post links to all this stuff down below. And pay dirt's always a blast. I think this is a fairly decent pay dirt. When you look at it, that's quite a bit of gold. I'll have to look. I'll put down in the description how much gold they claim is supposed to be in there. And I'll dry this out and weigh it and put the results down there as well. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this. As always, thanks for watching.